In today's society, there is the all too common assumption that men are restricted to jobs such as firefighters, athletes, and salesmen. Similarly, women are assumed to want to be nurses, mothers, and teachers. But where do these ideas come from? Can they be changed?
When we met for the first time, we knew we were going to base our project around children. As future educators, this is something that we are all passionate about and that was going to be easy for us to connect over. We started there and moved forward trying to connect children to the topics we had covered in class. And here's what we came up with. Our problem statement. Starting in elementary school, children construct ideas for what is appropriate for them to be when they grow up. Unfortunately, children develop these stereotypes at a young age, and it has the potential to unfold in their future careers. For example, children may learn to believe that girls should reflect nurturing, caring, and motherly characteristics in fields such as teaching and nursing. They may also learn to believe that boys should grow up to be masculine, leaders, breadwinners, and more independent in fields such as engineering and business. As a result, children have ideas ingrained in their minds of who they can and cannot be, even if they want to do something out of the stereotypical categories. Throughout our project, we strive to challenge these gender stereotypes and open children's eyes to all careers, despite their gender.
There was an article titled Children's Beliefs About Violating Gender Norms, Boys Shouldn't Look Like Girls and Girls Shouldn't Act Like Boys, and the article related to our project based on the research being done with the use of children and finding out their beliefs associated with gender norms or stereotypes. The researchers found that older children are typically more flexible and open to the idea of gender violations, meaning boys or girls not acting or looking the way that society would label them to act or look based upon their gender. They also found that violations in becoming a parent of the opposite gender were undervalued in both boys and girls in the study. The final thought from the article was that boys are typically judged more negatively regarding violations of gender norms than girls are, which is largely parallel to the way our society would perceive boys participating in a gender violation as well.
Secondly, we found the article Home, School, and Playground, Training Grounds for Adult Gender Roles. This article related to our topic because research was done to explore gender lines in children, similar to our idea. Participants in this study completed surveys before and after Christmas, asking about the gifts that they wanted, asked for, received, and liked best. It was found that children generally wanted, asked for, received, and most liked gender-typical toys and were even less likely to receive gender-atypical toys even if they had asked for them. Similarly, the participants were asked about their preferred jobs and chores at home, which also fell on gender-typical lines. Although this was somewhat unsurprising, it was also alarming to see this going on in our society.
Our third article was called It's Okay to Be Neither by Melissa Temple. We felt that this article related to our topic as Temple wrote the entire article about how to teach in a way that supports gender-variant teaching. She thoroughly shows how to address gender stereotypes within the classroom. We had the same goal through using the video and wanted the children to recognize the importance of not supporting the stereotypes. Temple breaks down stereotypes in her classrooms by teaching the children to think critically and getting the gears to turn in her brains. She shows how she supports gender-variant teaching every day and uses gender-neutral terms like students instead of boys and girls. She also teaches that it is okay to be different as she stimulates conversation in her classroom.
Our implementation plan was created based upon a unanimous decision on the topic of our project. We wanted to create a survey that had questions about what children wanted to be when they grew up and why. So we issued a survey out to numerous families throughout the Raleigh area, along with a letter for parents to read describing our implementation plan, aiming our survey at children ages 5 through 12. After completing the first survey, there was a link for the children to watch a short YouTube video that challenged their gender stereotypes within the careers they said they wanted to pursue when they were older. After watching this video, there was a second survey issued asking if they may have changed their minds or have any new desires for a different future career. In total, we received 32 responses from families we knew and from different Facebook groups.
Coming into the project, we knew that social action was a key aspect for us to focus on. That is why we made our ultimate goal to challenge the existing gender stereotypes in children regarding jobs. To really get to them, we thought a video would be an interesting but also effective method. By having children take these surveys and watch this video, we hope that we gave them a unique opportunity to be exposed to a more unheard of perspective on this topic and to break down some of those gender barriers in the career field.
Guess who? This is a story of a soldier in the United States Air Force who works hard to keep us all safe. Guess who? The soldier. What do soldiers do?
Soldiers, they fight for our country. They really train a lot.
What do soldiers look like?
They're mostly camouflaged. They wear badges
And a green helmet.
They have these bags and these boots with a thermos.
I think there's more boys.
Mostly boys. It's mostly boys. I just usually see guys as soldiers, not really girls.
Most of you described a male soldier, but the soldier you're meeting today is a woman. Meet Teresa.
My name is Senior Airman Teresa Luna. I'm with the 146th Airlift Wing, a member of the Security Force Unit.
That's awesome.
I've been in the military for 3.5 years as a security force member, also known as military police. Before joining the military, I did sit down with my parents and I told them that I wanted to join the military, and they were a little concerned, but they believed in me and I was really confident, and that's what I wanted to do. Most importantly, that's what was going to make me happy. It doesn't matter what people say when you're little, you just gotta stay true to yourself and really, really push towards your dreams.
Teresa didn't give up on being an airman. Even when people told her no, you can be whatever you want to be. Just work hard and follow your dreams. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a doctor, a singer, a video game designer, a business owner.
I want to be a world famous actor.
I really want to be a firefighter. I want to be an astronaut.
And I want to be an engineer.
As mentioned before, part of the implementation of our project was asking children to complete surveys. I put together a letter to send to parents that explained our project and its goals. The links to the surveys and video were included in the letter. After talking with some of the mothers about the project, one mom volunteered to take pictures of her kids watching the video for our presentation. So here are two of the kids as they watched the video and completed the surveys.
The findings from the first survey came from 32 different respondents ages 5 through 12. 65% of the participants were boys, 35% were girls, and 5% said other, although no one specified what they meant by choosing other. The respondents were also asked to choose which race or ethnicity they were, and 85% of our participants said they were Caucasian. This was the main fault of our survey and the way we distributed it, because we did not see much diversity with our respondents like we had hoped we would.
What we most importantly discovered from the first survey is that children definitely have a gender line ingrained in their brain when it comes to jobs. We asked an open-ended question in our survey about what boys and girls should be when they grow up and listed the most common answers here. Most survey participants said that women should be ballerinas, mothers, hair or nail stylists, fashion designers, and teachers. On the other hand, they said men should be athletes, policemen, soldiers, and engineers. We also asked more personal questions about what they want to be when they grow up and if they had ever wanted to do something that someone told them they couldn't. None of our participants had experienced that, though.
When it came to the second survey, only 5 out of 32 students, or 16% of the students, said that their personal career aspirations changed after watching the video. However, 94% of the students said that boys and girls could have whatever jobs they wanted. This was what we had hoped for. The children realized after watching the video that it doesn't matter if it seems like all boys do it or all girls do it. You just have to stick with your heart. Other children responded saying things like, "It doesn't matter because you can be whoever you want to be." Everyone should be able to do anything because they have their own opinions. Or, everyone should have the same rights. Everyone is important enough to do the job they want to do. And that girls and boys shouldn't be able to do some things because that's gender discrimination, and I don't like when people do that. The kids saw some of the stereotypes in the workforce and realized that these stereotypes are wrong and that both women and men should be able to have the career they desire. We were happy to see that 94% of the children responded in this fashion. One of the other questions addressed how much the children desired to have their career of choice, and after comparing answers, the desirability of their jobs increased with the second survey. The video helped address these stereotypes in a way that children could understand and apply the change to their own lives and career aspirations.
Throughout the course, we have been engaged in discussions, readings, and videos regarding topics that our final project also hit on. In Mary Barberchuk's article, we were able to see a connection. Barberchuk talks about how society portrays males as independent, assertive, brave, aggressive, and natural leaders. On the other hand, she talks about how women are portrayed in media as warm, emotional, romantic, and serving. This stereotype makes women come off as inferior to men and can be played out in our society. We see this in our project as survey participants initially believed that men should have certain jobs and women should have others, based on those very traits listed by Barberchuk. Because there are so many outlooks that are emphasizing gender roles and careers, such as media and advertising that Barberchuk discusses, it just makes it even more important for social action to occur and to let children know that these are simply stereotypical barriers that must be broken down, just as we set out to do in our project.
In a video interview with Ashley Simmons-Rudolph from the Women's Center here at NC State, she talks about how she grew up to love science and working on incorporating feminist views in her work. She mentions that both of her parents were scientists, which is where she believes she developed her love for the field of science, technology, and gender issues, including the promotion of gender equality. Ashley believes that feminism just means equality and would like for her work to respect diversity throughout the different fields she works in. The way this relates to our project is that we are trying to show to children that anyone, no matter boy or girl, can pursue a career of their choice. Gender issues are not found in the minds of children. They are promoted throughout society. Educating children and making sure that they know boys and girls can be anything they want to be will help the future generations of workers when it comes time to choosing their careers and not let gender stereotypes get in the way.
Our third article was Michael Kaufman's article, The AIM Framework, Addressing and Involving Men and Boys to Promote Gender Equality and End Gender Discrimination and Violence. This resonated well with our project. Throughout the article, Kaufman describes how addressing gender stereotypes does not mean redirecting resources to women, but it does mean having supportive men that create organizations to carry out awareness programs to end these stereotypes and violence. This way, there is a net gain in resources for women if men participate. This would allow the next generation to be raised equally. He shows how this could be a way to end gender discrimination, oppression, and violation of their basic human rights, which addresses how women need to have equality in the workforce. He goes on to say that we should not just address women, but there are consequences if we do not involve men and boys. For this reason, we addressed both girls and boys in our project and promoted gender equality through the surveys and video. In this way, we also saw how Kaufman explains that addressing boys is not enough, but rather, boys must be included in the awareness and take ownership over the problem of gender stereotypes, both in their daily lives and in the workforce. If not, it will continue the vicious cycle of gender inequality, and women will have to endure the inappropriate stereotypes geared towards them and discrimination in the workforce. We agree with Kaufman and recognize the significance of ending this now rather than later in order that the cycle is broken and the stereotypes are challenged.
Our implementation was effective overall. We recognize that children see the discrimination in the workforce between men and women. This recognition is what prompted us to create a project that could challenge these gender stereotypes. We saw that children change their answers after a simple video, so this makes us wonder how influential the media is on children, re-emphasizing gender stereotypes. However, this means that formal education could also be powerful in reversing these stereotypes for the future. An example of this would be teachers directly addressing these specific areas of discrimination in relatable ways to their students, depending on their age. If they did this in schools today, the responses from our first survey would have most likely been different and less stereotypical of today's society. Parts we could have improved on within our implementation would be finding more diverse children, since the majority of them were Caucasian. Our goal was to have more ethnicities represented, but that part of the implementation in surveys was not fully in our control.
Our main goal for creating this project was to show that while there is a gender stereotype in society within career choices and expectations between men and women, everyone is entitled to any career they want to pursue. The tricky part is getting this idea of acceptance to spread throughout society and opening doors to both boys and girls who should be able to succeed in any professional field of their choice.
Due to the implementation of this project, we now know that these children are aware of stereotypes, which is the first step to change. Although many of the children's personal awarenesses and job careers choices did not change between the surveys and watching the video, The way they viewed specific jobs for men and women did change. They became aware that men and women should be able to be who they want to be and have the career they desire.
Most children originally thought that only men could have certain jobs and only women could have certain jobs. After watching the video and completing the second survey, it was clear that the children no longer thought of men or women as being made for specific careers, but they recognized that anyone should be able to do what they were passionate about. This realization is important for children to have when considering careers, because there is no limit on the choices they have. Men and women have equal opportunities for the types of careers they want to pursue and are not held back by any gender stereotypes.